Hello, welcome back to Nations and Nobles, and I'm in front of Bhalu Barrington's shop, and well, I'm running into a bit of a problem here. So Ori sells gunpowder like a stack, a diamond. You know that seems at least somewhat fair. But Bhalu, oh my goodness, and it's sold out too. But he sells 32 sugarcane per diamond. This has been a very consistent issue in trying to get around, especially when you're just trying to go around your base, you know, when you're trying to build or something along those lines. You end up using quite a number of rockets. And I have been trying to think of a way to either, make travel easier for myself, and maybe B, one-up Bhalu in the market a little bit. So, I actually need to buy something off of somebody else. And this is mostly going to be a trial run. If this works out, I will probably go ahead and do a bigger bulk order. So do you remember how we had a trial chamber somewhere around the island? Well, I'm wondering if I can use these to constantly, well, not constantly, but reset the trial chamber 3 times and then hopefully get a pretty good deal of breeze rods out of it, and hopefully maybe those can serve as little launch pads for everybody to use. I'm gonna, first do your usual run. I've actually have figured out a little pathway to only do the breezes, so I'm hoping. Oh, I got ahead from that. And wait, 6 breeze rods. I'm not sure if I've gotten that. Okay, maybe I'm just crazy. I thought I got much less than that, but I'll take it. But unfortunately, there's only one other breeze spawner, so you could see why I wanted to use the ominous potions. Okay, how much did that get us? 25, not horrible. Okay, let's try that again, but with bad omen. And I'm hoping that we're gonna get more, because that makes sense, right? Okay, now that we've done that, we've gotten a bit over a stack in breeze rods. Now, the thing I want to experiment with is whether or not going up a level will actually be able to activate it again. That's right, get down here. I might as well collect the poison arrows while I'm here, right? Now that I think about it, I should probably cover up some of these with trapdoors or something to just optimize things a little bit. Okay, bad omen 3. Is this gonna, having a new bad omen or a level up do anything? No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, at least we were able to get a pretty solid haul. And honestly, this might be for the best, because I get, with how Grizz price things, you get, for 1 diamond, you get a pretty decent amount of bad omen bottles. So I think that's just what I'm gonna have to go with. However, I'm gonna keep these in this chest just in case we want to use it for some other item down the line. Now, having some breeze pads is nice, but the nice thing about rockets is that you can set them off literally anywhere, even in the sky, and they're also much easier to use. So, but what if I did this? You don't really get that much ground, and that's how most people are going to try and use it. Yeah, so I gotta find. I'm basically going to have to be fairly expansive with how many breeze pads I have around. So unfortunately, I don't think I've found the rocket killer, because I mean, I have my netherite armor off just for the additional knockback, and you not only have to give it a couple tries to really get any sort of hype, but you don't get a lot at all. And one of the advantages of rockets is that you can use them virtually anywhere. And I mean, it's pretty efficient, easy to use. Yeah, so this, I would have to put around a lot of breeze pads So I don't know how good it would be from an economical standpoint, but I could always just have some breeze pads around my base. Okay, so I've added 3 breeze pads around my base at the minute, and I'm probably going to add more as I build more locations in my little area here, because I know myself, I'm going to have a breeze pad for literally every single location. Because if I don't, I'm going to resort back to using the rockets again, because rockets are just more convenient. So I've added one all the way over at the portal, one in front of my house, and one right in the middle of the farm here. I decided to replace one of the chorus fruits with that, and all of them can get back to each other fairly easily here. So yeah, I'm happy about that. So I've been working at this dome for a good while now. I kind of need to get a bunch of dye in order to get the final cover on it. So for right now, I've just been working on the dimensions so that when I do have the glass, I could just fill in the dots. But I figured this was a good opportunity to show you how I do my spheres or elliptical objects. So what we have here, it basically is a bunch of circles, right? So you have this circle here, then down here, and then, you know, each tier here has its own circle. So, kind of how I start this is that I go on the side profile, like, you know how with a flower, I don't know if I have a flower on me, but you know how with a flower in Minecraft, it kind of has two 2D pictures and they're kind of crossing each other. That's kind of what I do at first, just in the cardinal directions. So I do a circle this way, and then I go the other cardinal direction, and I do a circle this way. And that kind of gets my gives me my cross hash. And what ends up happening there, excuse you. So from that, I kind of get all the different tiers, because this cardinal direction is made up of that circle. So every single time this dimension goes down a block, I basically put the dimensions in a circle generator, and then I make that circle. So basically it's a bunch of cross hashing, but for a circle. It's just circles on top of circles on top of circles. That's kind of what it is, which, I mean, kind of makes sense. I think that's how the mathematical equation for spheres work anyway. So yeah, that's basically my process there. And once these two meet, because I do the same process on each one of the cardinal sides as well. Once I get like more towards the corner here, I kind of go back and forth between doing the sides and doing the top. So yeah, that's basically how I do my spheres. It's a very painful process though, so I don't do it often. All right, so we finally managed to dimension out all of the dome here. The corners took a little bit of extra elbow grease and guesswork, but I got there in the end. And I've actually just managed to get all of the materials from myself and Birchie. I managed to get a bunch of glass from the desert, and I've gotten a bunch of pink dyes and purple dyes from Birchie. So let's start putting this to use. Get out of my way. Come on. So I've been making quite a bit of progress on the chorus fruit farm, but I've also been working on this little bit here. What I've been doing is basically trying to organize all the items I have, not only at this base, but also at my spawn base as well, and also by my shop. And yeah, this has been quite the undertaking. I have done probably 4 hours of just this alone, trying to figure out what goes into shulker boxes and what have you. I've been trying to figure out some sort of storage area, and I figured this was a pretty good step, just trying to figure out what I have, just so I could store it properly. And one little surprise, I did not know I had this much amethyst. I never would even have thought of amethyst. So yeah, I'm quite glad I did this, but man, is it time consuming. But anyway, I'm actually going to pick up an order I made to Grizz. I decided to order a bunch of ominous bottles just so we can make the breeze pad collection a bit easier. So I'm actually gonna go over to his place right now. Apparently he has a place in a dark forest. Hi, Grizz.
Hello, Van.
How you doing?
Welcome to my mansion. It's a work in progress.
Is there particular reason for a bunch of allays to be on the wall?
Well, they are my little workers, my unpaid workers. So they're not allowed to take vacation days, so I have to keep them there so they don't leave.
Okay. So I trust that you have the ominous potions that I ordered?
I do. I have 10 stack of 8. Is that good?
That sounds about right. So it was, what was it?
1 diamond, a diamond per 8, so that will be 10 diamonds, please.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny, but it'll work.
Look, I have to fund this mansion. I'm building a golden penthouse on the top, and I need the money for it. How else am I supposed to show everybody how rich I am? I mean, I already got the unpaid labor. What other costs am I supposed to cut?
Okay, yeah, if you could just, like, give me that, yep, yep. Well, it was good doing business with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for funding my, well, my dream project.
Okay, see you around. Bye.
Bye, Van. You're always welcome back. Bring more diamonds.
Okay. I think his greed problem's gotten a little worse. All right, we will be putting these to use pretty soon. Not right now, I don't quite have the time, but we have finished the chorus farm, and I've actually kind of renamed it to the chorus garden because midway through, I kind of just started messing with things and an aesthetic started coming out of it, which I really liked, so I started delving into it. So I noticed these little corners were a bit empty because that's just kind of how I designed the chorus fruit farm. It just kind of has this cutoff and there's nothing here. So I decided to experiment with some greenery, and yeah, it turned out pretty well. And I think it almost kind of feels like a park with like these sidewalks and this little garden. And yeah, as you can see, I've actually done a bit of a gradient with the glass. So it goes from purple to magenta, which you can barely see, to pink, which I actually had to do quite an interesting pattern for it to work. It's quite the stark contrast between magenta and pink, I realized. But I was determined to stick to it, so I ended up with this kind of design, which actually kind of looks kind of cool. I inspired it off of like flames, which I guess is just because of how warm the pink up there is. But yeah, and I also decided that I really wanted to draw the eyes up, and also I needed to light the place because like, for most of this video, I had this on bright, which, yeah, not nearly as bad, but usually I play at 50, and yeah, it was a bit dark, so that helped with that as well. I just really like drawing the eyes up whenever I can, especially with larger builds like this, so I think it made a nice piece. Plus, I mean, it's another element of the end, why not? But yeah, I guess it kind of goes back to that alien, but homey feeling attitude that I've had with this base in general so far. It's just that it's like it's definitely a bit alien to look at, but it's not hostile. It like that greenery really pulls it in there, and like some of these this warmer yellow also kind of brings this in. I honestly quite like this build. It's fun. The dome was a bit painful, I'll admit, but I'm quite glad I did it. It looks pretty cool. But I think with that said, that is all I have for today. So thank you all for watching and have a good day. What? Hmm.